Supergroup was founded in 1986 by Larry Lipschitz and focuses on fleet management, supply chain logistics and car dealerships. It has a market cap of 5 billion rand, a price to earnings ratio of 12, and currently pays no dividends. Well, we know the big calamity around Supergroup. It's now coming up. Is it rising like a phoenix out of the ashes?
Yeah, that's a good metaphor to describe what happened. I mean, they were just about on life support. Their core shareholders, which was Alan Gray in the main, followed their rights twice in order to put more cash in the group. Still got a substantial business in, as you say, all of those car-related stuff. And I think doing quite well. Peter Mountford, who was the CEO that was brought in, like proper grown-up management, they disposed with a couple of businesses. So they've got good operations in fleet management and all of that. I think, though, now the recovery turnaround trade, so to speak, has passed. So now it's going to be a bit more boring. If you bought them around here, where they were at the 60 cents level or 6 rand based on the share consolidation, it looks a little bit better. But here they seem a bit more fully priced.
It looks as though we're forming almost a tabletop here. Viv, would you concur with that?
Yes, I mean, they have come back quite nicely. Recently, there's also been some news that they've lost some government contracts, one in Joburg, one down in the Eastern Cape. But on the positive side here, that actually frees up a bit of cash for them. They have quite a bit of cash available. If they want to go out and do a bit of expansion, it is available to the company.
When you say expansion, are you talking about acquisitions?
Acquisitions or even expanding their current businesses as well. There is a bit of cash available because they're not going to have that Joburg contract requiring a lot of capex expenditure from them at the moment.
Couldn't that be a potential kicker for the group going forward then, if they can take that cash and invest in their company, even grow organically?
Yeah, I think there's plenty of growth potential for them. Although, again, to come back to what I said earlier, what they need is the general expansion and proliferation of business opportunities, the picking up of various contracts to do people's warehousing, logistics and merchandising for them. They do have those kinds of contracts, people that manufacture juice or, stuff that requires a cold chain to be maintained. This is what people like this do, and there's great opportunity in that space.
Will they benefit from that public spend we're expecting on the, 1 trillion or so into the construction infrastructure space? Is there anything that they can take out of that?
Look, if you're looking at the fact that they've lost a few government contracts recently, that's probably a negative in terms of basically where they are in government's view at the moment. I mean, when it comes to these kind of things, one never knows exactly what determines who gets a contract or not, in terms of fleet servicing, etc. With regards to their future, I think it's probably will be more focused towards the private sector. The government may be an opportunity in certain places in terms of servicing fleets. I don't think they're actually going to be doing too much in terms of actual construction out there. With regards to the company, I mean, you mentioned the fact that they're also, basically delivering juice for people, etc. But they also get their own little kind of products in the mix as well, because if you already have the train up there, you can deliver your carton of juice along with someone else's as well.
What about here's an idea, Imperial or Barlow World saying this is a perfect fit within their stables?
Sure. So I think that sort of thing could well happen. I think there are competition issues. The other player we haven't talked about tonight is Bidvest, and my view is that Bidvest over the next couple of decades is going to distribute some of its bits. We know that they already got a bid for the food services business. So I think the logistics business within Bidvest could be merged with Imperial or maybe this kind of business.
But I can tell you something, that Brian Joffe, looking at this share price graph, not that I know his strategy, is not going to buy Supergroup here when it did go there.
Yeah.
Would that be a fair assumption?
Although now it's kind of stabilized, it's been able to restructure its debt facilities. For a while it was literally being kept afloat by its bankers.
Remind me the PE that we threw forward to, what were we saying?
I think it's around sort of 10 or thereabouts.
Not too exciting.
Yeah, 14 I'm seeing, 14.
14, well that's pretty much in line with Imperial at 13.
Yeah.
So this is not cheap by any means.
So it's kind of gotten back now, as I said, to normalized business metrics at a share consolidation. Alan Gray has a big chunk of this thing. So Alan Gray, would be somebody that a potential acquirer could go to and say, listen, sell us your stake in a single block in exchange for X price.
Hot or not on Supergroup?
I do think it is hot. I think the fact that it has some free cash available allows it to expand a bit here. It actually means there's a bit more upside to this company at the moment.
Paul?
No, I think it's a little bit too full, and for me, not hot.